Welcome, everyone, to a special video I am creating for the purposes of a new playthrough that I want to do. Now, I got a bunch of games for my graduation, I might have mentioned, for my Super Nintendo. Some of these are pretty unique games, and I don't really know which one to play. There's so many to play, I can't decide. Guys, seriously, it's a problem of mine. And with that in mind, I need you guys' help, because I can't figure out which one to use. So I went ahead and I picked a few that I would be interested in playing, and I narrowed them down to 5 at least, you know. And I want you guys to sort of look through them with me here and try to decide which one I should play. Now, I'll go ahead and give a rundown a little bit about the backgrounds of the games so far, what I've known. I'm going in blind for the most part because I don't like spoiling a lot of things for myself, so I went ahead and went a little bit blind here. But I took a little bit of notes off of what I could figure out from the game at first impressions, if you will. And with that in mind, I will give that input to you and see which one looks the most interesting. No! So, the first one is going to be Terranigma! Yeah, this is a game that I actually enjoyed the shit out of. Especially since I never did finish watching it, but I watched HD Bailey play some. Now, this game is an action RPG. I figured that out, and it's a pretty damn fun one because there seem to be several. It's similar to, like, I don't really know what to compare it to because it's an action RPG like Secret of Mana, but the weapons that you get, or the weapon that I've gotten so far, has all kinds of cool attacks and shit with it, which is kind of neat. And the inventory system, which you'll see why it's really cool, is really cool, because it's a plot device and an inventory system. It's really cool. And speaking of the plot here seems pretty neat, although pretty simple so far. Basically, the world splits into 2 parts, evil and bad, and you have to sort of fuse them together. And the environments seem pretty damn solid. Really, really pretty. It reminds me a little bit of Zelda, a little bit of Secret of Mana. Mainly, the protagonist really reminds me of Secret of Mana. I don't really know why. And each of these little dungeons here, so far that I've found, are actually relatively challenging. Like, not super challenging, but challenging enough to where they feel satisfying after you figure them out. And that I think is a pretty big deal. So, that is number 1, Terranigma. Numero dos. Ooh, what could this be? What could this be? Now, this one's an interesting RPG. Now, this one takes the pace of Terranigma and takes it from tortoise to rabbit. I mean, if Terranigma was going slow. This game seems to be very fast-paced. This is a turn-based strategy, and it's a little bit more the classical style. It reminds me of a lot of Final Fantasy 6 and 3 and stuff like that, which is cool, because I love that. I actually got Final Fantasy 5, and I got Final Fantasy 6, a hacked version. This one's Burning Heroes. Burning Heroes is cool because you have 8 characters you can start. Well, 4 characters. You unlock the other 4 as you play. And you go through a plot with them, and the plots will interlace with each other. The plots themselves seem pretty simplistic, and each character seems to have a pretty short plot, maybe 2 to 3 hours apiece. So if we did play this game, it would probably be relatively quick. I like to think. Another thing that's interesting about the turn-based thing is that you will get characters in your party that you will just sort of hire on. Now, those characters that are in your party, you won't have any direct control over. You'll actually only have direct control over your character themselves. So, you don't have to worry about that. It seems like it would make the game less fun, but I mean, like, they're just raw DPS, and even the healers kind of, like, do their own thing. So, like, it's pretty stress-free. Somehow, I thought it was pretty stress-free. But the environments are each unique, and I really like the music as well. For some reason, I just like the music. And the design and the stories, like I said, are pretty simple, but they're entertaining. There's not a lot to them, and in its own little way, that's refreshing. And that is Burning Heroes. If we want to go with that, that's choice number 2. Number 3 is the complete opposite. This is Dark Law. Dark Law is an interesting game. I want to play this very badly, just to see what it actually has to offer, because I've never actually made it into combat with this game. The story is also pretty simplistic. Basically, light, dark, the world gets split into blah, 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 evil monsters. As most games are. However, the amount of detail that they put both in the environments, as well as the characters and the story, from what I've gotten to know, and I've only played about 30 minutes of the game, is pretty damn highly detailed, which is why I'm a little bit excited. It reminds me a little bit of Advanced D&D. I played a little bit of Eye of the Beholder, and the UI is kind of reminiscent of that. Now, like I said, it's the exact opposite of Burning Heroes because its pacing is very slow, from what I could tell. Not only that, the story and the characters themselves are slow. It's the only aggravating downfall about this part, about this game, is that the game moves very slow, but it's also very detailed. It lets you get to know everybody. It establishes, like, a hook in the beginning. So the story starts off on a strong route, which makes the game interesting. You just have to go through the slow paces as they come at you, and you have plenty of time to dodge them, because they are slow. So slow. But the characters so far seem pretty charming, so I'm willing to deal with it if you guys are. I imagine it will get eventually, hopefully, a little bit faster as time goes on. Fingers crossed. And that, anyways, is Darklaw. This is a very interesting game, and that is choice number 3. Numero 4. Now, this one's a cool game. I mean, it's awesome. I would love to play this game. I've already played like 2 hours of it, because I just can't help it. This one's Star Ocean. Star Ocean is a action strategy type RPG. It's kind of like an action. It's not really an action-based RPG because you go into your own battle sequence, much like I think the Tales series does. You won't. There's not really a timer or anything. It's just reminiscent of how fast you can smash the button to go or whatever, to hit attack or whatever. It seems pretty simplistic but very, very entertaining. There's lots of exposition with this game. Basically, the part you're seeing now is after about 2 hours of just raw story. But the story itself is actually pretty interesting, so I think you guys would get quite a bit of enjoyment out of it. And the amount of detail they put into the environments and the story just from the get-go is just amazing. And the is highly detailed environments, and as well as enemies here. All the sprite animations seem pretty smooth, pretty awesome. And there's lots of unique character abilities that make fighting never get old, let me tell you. It is thoroughly entertaining. And that is option number 4, Star Ocean. Star Ocean. Option number 5. It is Zelda Link to the Past. Or is it? No, it's not. It's blue. It's Zelda, Goddess of Wisdom. Now, this is the hack that I'll be playing. This is one of 2 hacks, actually. I actually do have Parallel Worlds remodel as well, but I decided to pick this one. I don't know why. This is a pretty solid hack. From what I can tell, maybe it's supposed to be a made-up sequel, fan sequel of the original game. I can't really tell. However, the game does seem pretty short. They remapped everything. Everything's different, basically. But the map does seem pretty small, from what I can tell. But it maintains all the same awesomeness of Link to the Past, but adds its own new twisted spice to it. It makes the game more challenging and more fun, so I would love to play that. So that's number 5. And that is it. So yeah, there you go. Number 5 is well, you've seen them all, obviously. Blah, blah. After seeing them all, you guys will have to let me know what you think about them. I think they're all pretty cool. I would love to play any of them, so that's why I'm letting you guys choose which one you guys would want me to see. Whichever one you want to see, just go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. Or you can PM me, whichever you choose, and I will figure out from there what game I'm going to play for you guys. I'm going to leave this video up for a few weeks, so feel free, and just so everyone gets a chance to look at it. And hopefully come back and I'll start it as soon as everyone's decided. Maybe, I don't know, random, like 3 weeks from the day I posted. Or maybe 4 weeks. I don't know. Obligatory amount. A month from now. Yeah, there we go, a month. I don't know. I just want to make sure everyone has enough time to see it. Because I know I've been kind of off the air lately, and I want to... I've been trying to fix that, so... give people enough time to see it. So, anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you next time in whatever video I happen to be in.